the next run. This one is going to be Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Spyro 1, any percent no balloonist skip. And it's going to be run by ToastedKat, one of the best toasts I know. Take it away, ToastedKat.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, I'm ready to get into it right away. So just let me get on this new save file. And then I'm ready to go in 3, 2, 1, go. Let me make sure I have my gem counts up here. So this category is any percent NBS. If you were around a few hours ago, you might have seen, whoops, I'm not clicked into the game. If you were around a few hours ago, you saw Flood Nozzles run any percent, which was around like, I think it was like 8-10 minutes long, something like that. This category bans that trick that makes you able to skip directly like into North Nexus. Whoops. So this ends up being similar to the OG any percent, where you have to get all the balloonist requirements and play through the game. So right away, we're gonna duck into Sunny Flight. We do all of the flights in this run because the 300 gems you get per flight really helps us boost our gem count. I'm just going to focus for a few seconds because missing one of these trains right at the start will lose a lot of time. So let's make sure I get those. But for the flight levels, I'm going to be charging and staying as close to the water as I can a lot of the time. The closer you are to the water, the faster you go. So just any time I can, I'm going to be staying very low. Also, you can see when I hit charge, I stop flying, but I'm able to like start flying again whenever I hit X. So I'm going to use that to be able to turn faster than you normally would be able to. And then at the end of the flight here, I'm going to go for something called an animation cancel. Whenever you finish a flight, Spyro will fly up and do like a little twirl and it will complete the level. If you bonk into something while you do that, it will cancel that animation and just send you straight to the retry screen. So I'm going to try and hit the back. There's like a point of a red gem that I'm going to try and hit and see if I can do that. Yeah, just like that. And then I'm actually going to retry the flight and guidebook out, because if you know the original Spyro 3, there's a guidebooking feature you unlock a little later on where you can warp to any level you finished. In the Reignited Trilogy, we have that unlocked in all 3 games from the start. So you're able to just warp to any level you want. So it's slightly faster to retry the flight and then actually warp to Artisans, because it puts you like, you know, up on the platform where you start rather than coming out of the portal off to the side. And then we just go in the Stonehill. So like I said, this category requires that we meet all of the balloonist requirements at the end of each world. So we're gonna be focusing on those. There's a couple for the first 3 homeworlds. We need 10 dragons to get out of Artisans, 1,200 gems to leave Peacekeepers, and 5 eggs to leave Magic Crafters. But the 2 we're gonna focus on the most are 50 dragons to leave Peacemakers and 6,000 gems to leave Dreamweavers, because those are like the big numbers that are going to take the most time. But in the first homeworld and mostly the second homeworld, there's a lot of low value gems overall. So we're going to be going a little bit out of our way for some of the high value gems that are lying around. But for the most part, just going to be getting dragons. Oh. Missed that guy, but he only had a 2. Not a big deal. At the start of Town Square here, I'm going to be going for something we call Fairy Proxy. I don't really know where it got the name Fairy Proxy. Probably early on, because it's not really a proxy. But you'll see after I free Nils, I think his name is, up on this first platform, there is a spot where I'll be able to stand, and when the fairy spawns in for like the checkpoint save, she'll actually pick me up, and I'll be able to jump up to the platform above me And I'm not really sure why that happens, because there's no other dragons we know of where this works. But very useful. So right here. Save nils. I'm going to stand right around here. And just like that. Town Square has the quickest. It has 4 dragons in it, and they're all very quick because they're all like those 3 are within a few feet of each other. And then we just run over here and get us one last one. And then guidebook back to Artisans. Guidebooking out of Sunnyflight doesn't save too much time, but then like going from Town Square to Artisans, you know, having to not run all the way back into that tunnel saves a decent amount of time. Also, we do get Nestor. There is a way to skip the Nestor cutscene. It's not intentional, but for whatever reason, if you jump while like triggering Nestor, it just lets you skip the cutscene. So we do just do that, and then that lets us get a very quick dragon that's just right in front of us. Like I said, the biggest focus is the 50 dragons, but especially the 6,000 gems. I'm going to be keeping a tight gem count throughout the entire run. I have a list of like what amount I'm supposed to have at the end of every level, and ideally I won't miss too many because I only have 19 gems of leeway. Once I miss 19, I have to start picking up backups, but not too big of a deal. It's not too slow to go out of your way for extras if you are down. Unfortunately, a lot of the early game is a little boring. Like I said, we don't really pick up too many gems, so we're just kind of running from dragon to dragon, which isn't too exciting, but it'll get a little bit more exciting in the next homeworld. Right at the start here, I'm gonna flame and then roll and then flame, roll, flame, and what that does is it cancels the flame and allows me to spit out another one a little bit early, which gets me that flame or that fan chest a little earlier. And then right here, I'm going to try and do a boosted jump. Nice, very small time save. If you charge into a jump, you can carry some of the momentum and get a little bit extra height than a normal jump. And that just in that case, it just let me skip 1 step and get up to the next one. But in some other places, it's necessary to get the height to get up to certain platforms that you're not supposed to. At the start of Clifftown, or even going into Clifftown right here, I'm going to try to do a fly-in skip. Let me go for it first, and I'll explain it. No, I didn't get it. So what I'm trying to do there is get a frame-perfect pause on the same frame I touched the loading zone of the portal. And if I do that right, it will the pause screen will say that I'm in Clifftown, and they'll give me the option to exit level. You don't want to do that because that will soft lock the game. But if you then quit game and continue from the main menu, it will think that you were in Clifftown last. So when you reload the game, it'll just put you in here and skip this big loop-de-loop that I am in right now. I have a couple more levels I can try it on throughout the run, so I will hopefully be able to show it off. I was 1 for 4 in my 120 run earlier, so hopefully we can do a little better. That was actually the first thief of the run. We do need 5 eggs, like I said, to leave magic crafters, and we manipulate them in a way that it makes that they're all really quick. If you were to chase it around as intended, it would actually take a while. Have to lap that building like 2 or 3 times. But if you kind of jump from on top of them, they don't really notice you coming until it's too late. You can just flame them like that. Also, I do want to be in the air when I get the thief, because if you are on the ground, it'll play a little cutscene of you collecting the egg, and that's unskippable. And it takes like 4 seconds or so. So if I But if I'm in the air like I was, it won't actually play that cutscene at all. So I can just skip it entirely. And then right here, just gonna pick up some gems, do a little jump onto this cliff, get Marco. And then come over here just for some 10 gems. Oh, almost fell. That would have been bad. Just get those 2 10 gems up on the roof and then continue. Gonna break this rock and head into Night Flight. Same idea as Sunny Flight. I'm gonna be just going through the objectives. This one's probably the easiest flight because there's no moving objects, no cycles or anything you have to worry about. So I'm just gonna be getting rings, getting lanterns, staying as close to the water as I can. Nothing too crazy. It does have some risky drops if you go for them. See the first one after this last ring in just a second. Sometimes it's faster to charge like I did on that lamp to get closer to the water, and sometimes it's faster to just like nosedive like this. It's really hard to tell just looking at it which one's faster, so you kind of just have to know. Like after this chest here, I'm gonna flame it and then I'm gonna charge to drop to the water. And then I explained before that if you charge, you can actually turn faster than just like turning like this. And right here, you really see how it makes this route possible. Like otherwise you wouldn't be able to make it through that arch in time. Nice little time save on that. Deo with the massive raid. How you guys doing? I can see the raid. Thank you, Dylan. Like I said, we kind of just manipulate all the thieves in this game. So if you see here, I'm just gonna jump right across. The thief's gonna run right into me. Very easy. There's some more convoluted strats for the thieves in 120 when you have to get all of them, but the 5 we get in this one all just like run straight into you. Do a little boosted jump to get on this platform at the start. Gonna be flaming actually before, gonna be flaming before I hit the metal guys. Messed it up there, but like right here. Because even though the metal guy absorbs the flame, it'll still travel past and hit the big bomba that I need to kill. Very minor time saves. And I'm sorry, we don't fight Shemp. Too slow. Ice Cavern, I think, is where the run starts to pick up a little bit. Near like the second half, there's a little bit of nice movement. Some nice stuff to see, and then once we get into Magic Crafters, some of the run starts to pick up a lot. So if you were around for the 120 run, you heard me explain keyboard mouse strats for this game. Long story short, this game originally came out on console, so everyone ran controller. And when it moved to PC, most people were still comfortable on controller, but a couple runners decided to run on keyboard because PC game is keyboard support. And one runner found out that you can actually turn Spyro faster with like steering him with the mouse than you can just by turning with an analog stick. Also gonna kill that. Nork usually has to fall off the edge, but if you hit him onto the chest, he'll actually fall off the chest and die early. Quick thing. But yeah, one runner found out that you can turn Spyro faster when you're steering him with the mouse. And for the majority of the game, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. But when it comes to supercharging, where you can't like stop and turn, you have to hold the charge the whole time, it really makes a difference. And for a lot of the levels in 120, it makes a huge, for any level that has a supercharge ramp. Oh. Okay, hold on. I started doing 120 strats. A little confused, we're fine. Couple seconds. No big deal. But yeah, so a lot of the any level in 120 that has a supercharge ramp is like completely different than it used to be, but there's not that much of a change to NBS. There's a few hard strats, but not as many as 120, but we'll still get to see them. Okay. One funny thing about if you like do something called an EBL, which is an early balloonist load, it's basically if you are able to jump into the balloonist like text box and mash through it before you hit the ground, you save a couple seconds. But if you would do that, one of the side effects is it doesn't like correct Spyro's position before putting you on the balloon, so that's why I got put backwards in Magic Crafters. No. Also, yes, we do go in the high caves first, and it'll make sense once I leave high caves. This level will show off what keyboard mouse supercharging looks like, but we don't really get to see the flashy stuff until Wizard Peak. I guess the homeworld right after this is kind of flashy, so you get to see that. Oh. I run on both, and most people in this game do. Like, at the moment, I'm running on controller, but I'll tell you when I'll switch to keyboard and mouse. It's going to be on the dragon, not this one, but the next one. So right now I'm on controller, and then now I'm switching to keyboard mouse. You can see my mouse here. And that lets me do this with the supercharge. Ooh. Not a huge time save there, just lets you get all the fireworks chests and then get the chest right after. But you'll see right here, I ran past all the spring chests and fan chests in the homeworld, and that's because right now I'm going to be able to just go straight through them with the supercharge. Yes, there is separate leaderboards for PC and console. So if you are on console, you're not at a disadvantage. Right at the start of Alpine Ridge, once it loads in, there is a fast cycle that I'm going to go for. There's a set of moving stairs, and then a moving door, and a moving platform. And if everything goes right, I should be able to make all three with just enough time to spare on that last moving platform. So I'm going to focus for just a second. Good so far. Oh no. Oh, I took a hit. That's unfortunate. I don't think I'll be able to make this. Just barely made that. I'm not going to be able to make the next platform though. Yeah, if you run at that dragon the wrong way, you'll actually like bait one of the druids over during the cutscene, and he'll hit you like right as it ends. So just had to wait for that platform. Little silly, but not that much time lost. That hit does actually affect me a little bit later though, because there were some fodder at the top of the hill in high caves, and that was like the last fodder really I'm gonna be able to pick up for this homeworld. And taking a hit causes an issue because there's 3 damage abuses I want to do in this homeworld, and one of them was just there and down in that cave. But I'm gonna have to go out of my way for a fodder or skip one of the damage abuses in Blowhard. Yep, and then, like I said, we have guide booking, so I just go straight to high caves and then leave the level. We time the game in loadless, so right now I'm not losing any time on my loadless timer. Just able to get back up to the top of the supercharge. Right here is going to be another keyboard mouse supercharge, but nothing extreme. Just lets you go a little bit wider to get this enemy and then carry the supercharge into the portal. But in Wizard Peak itself, as hopefully, if I get this, it'll look really cool. The first half of the level runs on cycles with these wizards and the shock wizards and these big guys. So I'm gonna want to not be too slow, or else I could get hit. All right. And then this is the SRT version of Lucas Hill. Oh, almost made it. Ideally, you can carry it all the way up and then get this purple gem guy. That was pretty much it. And then just get this thief real quick. Jump down here for this last dragon. Pretty good Wizard Peak. For those spring chests, you can actually, like you just saw, if you charge and like jump right before one, you'll like hit it with the bottom of your hitbox, and then the gem will pop right up into you. You can also do the same thing on the way down, and that's how you can double those. But you need a pretty precise jump height to be able to do it. Right at the start of the flight here, I'm gonna hit triangle, so I drop straight down and spin, and that'll let me go straight backwards through that arch, and then I can turn around again and do all these planes from the opposite direction to get them a little bit faster. Generally, you're never supposed to hit triangle in the flight because you just drop for like 2 to 3 seconds before you can start gliding again. But right there, you can, that's like the one time you actually want to do it because you just drop straight down and then can turn around. Whoa! Oh, okay. That was a bit of an arch proxy, and I've never seen that before. On that one. Okay. I was so caught off guard, I'm not even sure if that was fast or not. $30.41. I'm actually 2 gems ahead. I have been practicing 120 also for this marathon, so I have in like 1 or 2 places accidentally done the 120 route. And then normally I wouldn't have to go out of my way for that fodder, but because I took that extra hit, I did have to go get at least one. And I got both just for safety. The enemies in Blowhard are brutal. And normally if you get in here with like the correct amount of health and take a hit, it basically kills the run. So just play it a little safe. So there's one firework here and then another firework near the end of the level, and that's why I needed the 2 health. Caught this cycle. Did a little bit of a boosted jump right there to be able to get that druid instead of having to wait for the platform. If you just jump, you don't get enough height to hit him with your flame. Oh, I didn't get that 10. Not getting that 10 either. Don't want to be missing 10s this early on. And then the other damage abuse is right here. Just catch all these gems out of the air. Missed one. That's fine. And we go. I explained it before, but I kind of got distracted by other stuff. I'm going to go for an EBL here. I'm going to jump into this text box, and then... Oh, I jumped a little too early. This one's probably the hardest to time correctly. But I'll have 2 more chances to show it off. If you jump into the text box and mash through the dialogue before you hit the ground, it'll pause the load timer just a little bit earlier. Not a huge deal. Normally getting that fodder would be really nice because I would be sparksless most of the time. But since I had that extra fodder from earlier, it's not too bad. It doesn't really make a difference. There's plenty of fodder at start of Terrace Village here to get up the gold no matter what you're at. The beginning of this level is pretty straightforward, but once I get to the first dragon, a little bit before that is when the cycles for the electric floors start to load in. So once I get to like that staircase right in front, I need to be pretty tight with my movement or else I'm going to be missing some cycles. There is something you can do called a shock jump, which if you... There's like a couple frames in between when the electric guys like hit the ground and when the ground actually shocks. And if you jump in that delay, you actually can land back on the electric floor and not take damage. But if I do everything right, I shouldn't even have to go for that, so. Little unintended jump right there. Oh, okay. Got a little stuck on that chest, but that's alright. Yeah, so this guy is on the right cycle. Gonna have to wait a little bit on this last one, but not very long at all. Pretty good. Pretty ideal cycles. And then we're just gonna drop down, clean up some of these gems, and then we're gonna go. Nice. We were on gold sparks already. If we weren't, I would have gone out of my way to get up to full health because I take a damage abuse right after leaving this level, and then afterwards we go into Misty. So, or after Wildflight we go into Misty, but our sparks carries over. So, being at green or even no sparks would not be ideal going into Misty Bog, especially because there's a damage abuse right at the start of Misty Bog as well. So, not great. We're doing really good on gems too. Don't think I'm gonna have to go for any backups at all. Wildflight is the one I'm the worst at. Every other flight I can do like 99% of the time without failing, but this one just every once in a while goes really wrong, so hopefully it doesn't happen. A little bit wide on that turn, but made it work. Okay. That's the part I struggle with, so we should be good from here. Gonna dip down and everything should be on correct cycles because this has been alright so far. And then just gonna animation cancel on the side of the wall here. Very nice. I actually golded that, okay. Kind of funny. Those two fan chests to my right are backup gems. There's 2 5s in there. And I was planning to get those just for marathon safety, but I'm so good on gem count, I don't need them at all. And that was the flying skip. I should have mentioned it before. But I got a frame perfect pause when I touched the portal. And if you were to go back and look, it says like Misty Bog and it gives me the option to exit level. That way when I quit, it would put me back in the level and skip the big fly-in. Whoops. Oh, that's not good. Also, damaged abuse. We went into the water and jumped across the end of the level right at the start because those first couple of islands, or that first island in particular, does not have a lot of quick gems, so it's worth it to just skip over here and not have to do that. Oh no. Being sparkless, especially here, is not good. Gonna try and land on an invisible ledge right there. Nice. If I were to die, it's gonna be these frogs. Play it a little safe. Wow, that was really unlucky. The one frog right behind the other. There's nothing I can really do about that, especially because I just turned around. Unfortunate. Just gotta run back. Oh, okay. I thought I was gonna fall there. Little scary. Now we have a checkpoint, so on full sparks, nothing should happen from here, but if it does, we have another checkpoint. Oh, I do want that 10. Not the cleanest Misty, but we're out. Oh, and then I quit. One thing with the fly-in skips is that this game has cursor memory, so it does remember where you, what option you were last on. So, because I was on quick game from the fly-in skip, I was still on quick game, and it messed up my menuing. Yes, the originals versus the remakes from a speedrunning perspective, they're like playing 2 completely different games. Almost nothing feels or behaves the same way. Right at the start of Treetops, there is a little cutscene that usually plays where it, like, the thief like dances for you and then runs away. It actually loads in a little slow, so if I walk back and jump around the trigger for the cutscene, I'll be able to avoid it. So it's gonna hold back and then jump around, and then this thief's just gonna sit here. And I even got the quick kill on him. That kill's not necessary at all. If you didn't get it, you can, or if you don't get that, you can just get him right at the end of the level, but it's cool anyways. Also, I probably should have got that key for safety, but it'll be fine. We'll just not miss the key chest. Remember, like I said about keyboard and mouse strats, that kind of allows things like this to happen. I'm gonna be able to get in here and be able to get that key chest. I'm also going to, just because it's funny, kill that thief too. Makes this upcoming supercharge a little easier as well, so. So I'm gonna try and slow myself down just like that to get those spring chests and then carry the supercharge through this room. And then hopefully carry it for the rest of the stuff on this island. Oh, okay. Dropped a little low, but didn't die, so. And then I am gonna die now. I was supposed to drop off a little bit later so that I could carry this supercharge to get those fan chests, but would definitely, I'm just glad I didn't die. And then just do one more supercharge to get over to this island. If I didn't kill the thief earlier, I'd kill him here, but he's already dead, so I can just go. Yeah, that supercharge was a little spook, but... Going into Metalhead, this is unironically like the hardest boss level in this category, just because the metal like poles that you hit to kill him the cycles on like when they shock load in based on like when you get close to them, but they all individually load in based on how far you are from them, so you pretty much can't get there on a consistent cycle unless you took like the perfect same movement every time. Oh, I see something. I made a mistake. Okay, at least I recognized it. We did miss a dragon, and I know exactly where that dragon is, so. That explains why I called it Wildflight. Oh no. That's not a big deal. It's fine. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and do like the same pattern I usually would, but I will have to deal with these cycles like as I see them. So I'm gonna have to wait for that. Not amazing, not terrible. But then the second set don't load in until you get to them, so these should be pretty consistent. Just wait for this. Oh, no, that was bad. Okay. Not the best cycles. Randy already knows what I did. It's alright, as long as I'm not Sparkless here, because being Sparkless, you lose a lot of time to having to manually pick up all these gems. So real quick, I would normally exit level, but I'm actually going to go to Terrace real quick. In 120, you leave this level and you go straight towards Wildflight. In NBS, you're supposed to get this dragon, and I did not. So we're just gonna get this dragon real quick, and it'll be fine. We forgot Bruno. Everyone can cry. I'm sorry, Randy. I see you. Just gonna guidebook over to Metalhead and an exit level, because it'll put me right back out at the balloonist. You're very cute too, Randy. This is a cute chat. $51.83 is a couple gems under, but we should still be very fine for the end of the run. That was the 50 dragon requirement there, and I'm gonna need 6,000 by the time I leave this homeworld. We only do 2 of the levels in here, being Icy Flight and Jacques, so gonna want to make those up pretty quickly, but not in too much of a rush. I see you too, Audrey. So coming up in just a second is this cannon. Fun fact about this cannon, every input you use to turn it speeds it up. So I'm going to be using right on my analog stick, right on the D-pad, and right arrow on my keyboard, and it's going to like triple the speed it's normally supposed to go at. Yeah. So that cannon just flies when you do that. Also going to go for something kind of risky here. Probably shouldn't be, but there's a certain spot you can bonk the Spyrothon chest and it won't knock you off. And then I messed it up. Do I die tier 2? No, okay. Yeah. A little dumb. Oh my god! Oh no, not Latif. Oh no. Oh my god. It's okay, it was to make up some of the gems I was behind. It's fine. That was all on purpose. So if you hit that in the right spot, you can just barely stay on that island. Clearly I did not do that right. So. Coming up on the last flight level here. Pretty much the same as all the other ones. Some of these lighthouses in particular can be a little finicky, but the only difference besides that is that there is no place to animation cancel in this flight. The place where we end it on the optimal route is just like in the middle of an open area. So what I'm gonna try to do is go for another frame perfect pause. The game like updates when you've collected or like gotten the objectives and finished the flight every frame. So on the frame that you flame the last target, it'll be at 180 gems and on the pause menu. The next frame it'll update and show 240 for completing the Norks, those flying Nork guys, and then the frame after it'll realize you finished the flight entirely and give you 300 out of 300. So I'm going to try and be pausing on that 300 frame and then exiting the level, and that will skip the flight. See if I can do it here. Oh. Yeah, so I got the 240 pause, but not the... Is the 240 pause, but not the 300, so... It's okay, just a couple seconds. And then over to Jax. I'm normally not on green sparks. I hope that's okay. No, that's fine. Everything's fine. So 5690. So Jax is kind of the cleanup level of the run. You adjust the gems you go for based on how ahead or behind you are in gems. So I'm going to be skipping a few gems that I would normally get. And if everything goes right, should end up with exactly 6,000 on the way out. Give me these. Oh, I think I missed one that I was supposed to get. Am I really going to be one short? No, we're perfect. We're actually perfect. Hold on. So if everything went right, we should be at exactly 5999. Nice. And then gem number 6,000 is right here. Perfect.
Are you ready to go?
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that. I kind of forgot that existed. Yeah, the whirlwind does stick under that platform, so you can just jump right underneath it and it'll pick you up and carry you through it. You do that so often that you just forget that's not even normal. No, unfortunately there's no SRT wrap proxies, so I do have to get this dragon. because Twilight Harbor won't open otherwise. But we're done with dragons, we're done with gems. The only thing I have to do now is go into each level and leave through the vortex, and that'll make the next level open. Right at the start here, there is a skip to get to the end of the level very quickly. I'm going to be jumping on a little bit of an invisible ledge off to the side, just to get over to where the actual skip is a little bit quicker. And then there's a wall glide you can do to get on top of these rocks and just jump straight over to the vortex. So on that invisible ledge to get up here. And then if I do this right, there we go. Right up onto the rocks and over to the vortex. That wall glide can be very finicky, so I'm very glad that happened first try. Yes, if you saw the Neo Vortex run, this homeworld should be basically the same thing. If you didn't, then there's a very cool trick coming up in this level. There's not a lot of places that wall glides are useful in Spyro 1. You see a lot more of them in 2 and 3. Just because you can't really hover out of a wall glide because there's no hover in this game. So, and there's not really a lot of places where you're like, that are out of reach. But for this right here, I'm going to be wall gliding on an invisible wall to get onto this roof. And then I can jump over here onto a little spot that I can run on, and then that just lets me skip like the first half of the level. Then I'm just going to turn around and take the supercharged ramp right to the vortex. Very nice. And then final flying skip of the run. No. Like I said, frame perfect pause. This game, we play this game at 50 FPS, so not the easiest. We are coming up in the last split, so time is coming at the end of the Nork fight. You guys know where that is, I'm sure. There's 2 thieves with keys right at the start here. We have a way to cut off both of them. We get them very early. There's an even faster way to get the second thief, like immediately on the first corner, but I really don't know how to do that, and I haven't been able to get it consistent yet, so I'm not going to go for that. Like right on this first corner to the right, but instead I'm going to pass that one and get it on the next corner, just like that. And then One Cycle Nasty is legitimately one of the toughest tricks in 120, but in NBS it's free. You just gotta be a little careful here because you can bonk on him. But other than that, you're just gonna chase him down. He does zoom in this, so you do want to get there as fast as possible. You're not gonna get there before he does. Hit number 1, and time's coming up on the second hit up here. And time.
You're toast, Nork.
Pretty nice run. That wasn't too bad. There's a couple of kind of big mistakes, like missing the one dragon and a couple other littler things, but that was about 2 minutes behind record, so not awful run. Not too bad. And we'll just check the in-game time real quick. 25:59, so just barely under 26 and just barely under a console record as well. So that's pretty nice.
Well played, Kat.
Thank you.
Do you have any other any final shoutouts you want to give?
Shout out again to the Spyro community in general. I want to shout out Bobby, Green, Two Chames, Groksu, people who have found stuff for this category and have pushed it a lot. And one shout out specifically to Audrey the Titan for being the cutest chatter.
Well, everybody, one more round of applause for ToastedKat. Thank you,
you.
Toasted, for the 2 Spyro runs this event. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Everybody, we are almost to the final run of the evening or morning or whatever time it is for you, the Spyro 1 120% race. But before that, we're going to have one more Spyro Reignited speedrun, a Spyro 3 Bone Dance run done by Dylan J. Fox. So stick around for that.